Hello everyone who is going to be seeing this video and enjoying the content. So I wanted us to pick up on the topic that we started on our previous video, which is around self-sufficiency. And I want us to look at, delve more into what is self-sufficiency. And dictionary meaning, it says being able to maintain oneself. So that simple means that it's one person being able to maintain themselves, and then moving into homes being able to maintain themselves, and we can go to societies being able to maintain themselves. So there's an English phrase that says charity begins at home. So it's important that we start with ourselves before we look at the outside. We need to say we're going to embark on a journey to make sure that one is self-sufficient, and there's different aspects that will indicate self-sufficiency in one's life. So financially, health, and social. You want to have friends, you want to have genuine and friends that add value. You want to have a family that's functional and that is a support structure for you. So those are the things that as a human being that you will have to look at and make sure that you are strong and there's healthy processes around those aspects: your financial aspect, your social aspect, and your health as well. I'll make an example that if I've journeyed a lot around my finances, having a look at how healthy my finances are, but I don't want us to go into much around finances in this video. I want to ask you a question: where can you start in terms of starting being self-sufficient as a home? Because I think what I want us to achieve is actually having self-sufficient home. So you are a working individual, you are a breadwinner, and you think you've got things covered, but how can you free up some time, free up some money, so that you can be able to have some freedom to travel, freedom to do the things that you want, freedom to change careers without worrying about the lack of money. And if your family is taken care of, that gives you a peace of mind. So I'll make an example, like I've asked you guys a question to say, where can you start? So this morning I was making, and this is actually the reason I'm doing this video. So this morning I was making a sandwich for my family. I made a lovely egg mayo sandwich, and I went outside and picked some spring onions from our small garden. And I just want to highlight one thing, that I stay in a complex. I'm staying in the first floor. There is no balcony, but I still have a small garden. I'll share how my garden looks like. So this is simply an indication that wherever you are able to start small and build on that. And also, when you start doing things and the universe listens and sees that you are knocking, more land opens because you are ready to use it. So it's important that you start where you are. So really the question that I want to ask you today: where can you start? So I picked the spring onions. I made my sandwich, and then a thought crossed my mind, and I was like, at some point, I think 2 years ago, I had a small backyard where I was renting, and we had chickens, so eggs were not an issue. So I would wake up, walk to the backyard, pick up eggs and spring onions without going to the shop. And that was really a peaceful feeling, where I knew that things are taken care of. So this morning I was like, okay, the spring onions. So now we need to look at where do I get the eggs? It could have been, not even egg mayo. It could have been chicken mayo. The chicken breasts are from your own chickens that you know how they grow and what they eat. So I want you to start thinking about where can you start? Where can you put a small garden? Where can you start raising chickens? Where can you start raising pigs? Depends on what your family eats the most. So in my small garden, we've got lettuce, spring onions, and spinach because it's a really, really small garden. But I don't worry if greens are there. If I want to make my 7 colors Sunday meal, I know I've got my greens. I know that I don't have to buy everything. And also, like when I made my sandwich this morning, I'm like, okay, I can actually make my own mayo at home. I don't have to purchase it. So if I had the eggs and then I could buy oil and make my own mayo, so that I'm saving money like that. And also I can call in my family, my daughter, that we make the mayo together, and we also get to spend time in creating a culture that allows us to be a healthy and functional family. So being or aiming for self-sufficiency, really not going to just free money for you to start saving and investing, but it's also going to allow you to spend time with the people that are very close to your heart, and also it's just going to open your soul. It's going to open up your mind as well, because when you spend time worrying about where the next meal is going to come from, you lack creativity, because your energy goes towards where is the next meal going to come from, where is the next rand going to come from. So we grew up, we bread was never bought. We made bread at home. So those are the things, those are the basics that we need to go back to. And this is not because there isn't enough money, but this is because this self-sufficiency will give us peace, and it will give us the freedom that we need. Like I mentioned earlier, you will be able, when you have the money and when you have the family that's functioning and it's sorted in terms of basics, food, water, electricity. I'll do these videos more so that we talk about how do you make sure that the basics, firstly food, and then we'll move into water, and how do you work around source of energy, which is electricity, wood, whatever you are using wherever you are. So but we'll explore this slowly, but I want us to first focus on food. And I'll share stats on how much South Africans specifically are spending on just vegetables on a weekly basis, and then you can look at your spending on how much you're spending on vegetables. And if you see that, okay, you are spending, let's say, roughly 300 rand towards your vegetables a week, and because you can't buy in bulk, yes you can if you're going to freeze, but maybe you don't have a freezer that can take bulk, so some things go off, and maybe you are limited to only buying potatoes and onions because that's what will last long in your cupboard. But if you have your garden, you can always eat a variety of vegetables without being limited. So I think it's important that you look at that, and in a long term you say, okay, 300 rand a week, that's not a lot of money, but if you put that aside and you saved it towards your kids' school fees and all of those things, that will make a difference in your life. And maybe you can invest to your kid going to a very good school and getting education for life, not not education for a job. Sorry, my phone is doing things here. But my question that I want to leave with you is, where are you going to start? And starting is now. It has to be now. We can't keep postponing it. Find a plot, and if you have questions or if you want to bounce off ideas, I'm more than willing and I'm available to assist, and just share my own ideas that I have. And I mean, most people, middle class, we renting, we don't have our own space, we in complexes, and we in the townships, there's no space. So like, there is a need for us to look at how are we going to get there, how are we going to use the small spaces that we taking for granted so that our families can be better off. So yes, I would like to thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my video with so that other people can see and join in the journey that we are on self-sufficiency. And yeah, so thank you. Looking forward to chatting you, and looking forward to bouncing off ideas and seeing where have you started. So I'd like us to share where have you started. I'll also maybe I'm gonna start on a small project as well, so that when we meet again, I can share how my small project is going with you. Have a lovely day.